Hey everyone, Jesse here. I don't know who else it would be, but anyway, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I prepare for gigs. So my job, my day job, is basically that of a freelance musician. So I'm unemployed. Just kidding. It's kind of like, for those of you who don't know the music world or anything like that, it's kind of like being a substitute teacher, and if an artist needs a player or a sub, I'm someone they call. But with that comes a lot of preparation, because I might not know the songs, or I might not have ever heard the songs that an artist does, so I have to prepare and learn, and I want to do it well. So I kind of just want to take you along with me, as I have to chart some songs today, so I figured why not make a video and show you how the process works for me. First things first, whenever someone asks me to do something and I say yes, usually the first step I do isn't even with an instrument. I chart every song that I get. I use something called the Nashville number system, so if you're not super familiar with that, I'll explain like a super basic overview of it, and then show you kind of my process of charting. For those of you who don't know what the Nashville number system is, it's basically a way that you can use chords without calling them by their name, but rather you call them by numbers. It's kind of like algebra in a way, I guess we could say that, but I'll show you some of my charts here. This is my number chart notebook, if the titling wasn't apparent enough. So here is an example of a chart that I would make and use for artists. This one is particularly for an artist I play with named Kelly and Kristen. So don't worry, if you don't know Nashville numbers, I'll do another video on that. But basically, if you know the major scale, it has scale degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the key of D, you'd start on a D, and it would go to E, then F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. So with that knowledge, 1 equals D, 4 is G. I guess that's a 4 times. And then in the verse, we've got some inversions here. So in Nashville numbers, how you write an inversion is you actually just call the inversion by its name. So I'm playing a G chord, but in the bass, there's a B. So 4/6 is what that would be. So basically, if you're looking at this with chords, the intro is D, D, G, G, 4 times. And then I have little notes over here. There are pads just going in the first part of the song, and then there's a lead line, and I actually wrote out the notes for the lead line. But yeah, anyway, these are just like scribbles for my own edification. But then yeah, you can just kind of see, you can substitute these with actual chords if you want to. For me, it's easier just to have numbers, because if it's not in the key of D and it's in the key of G, then I would wish that I had numbers instead of looking at G, G, C, C. It'd just be confusing if it already said D, D, G, G. And I'm even confusing myself saying what I'm saying. So anyway, that's kind of what a chart looks like. And so I'm going to chart a song right now. I got an email from my friend Benny. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand. That's why I'm typing like this. He's the music director for Christine DeClario. Super excited to play with her again. She's great. But he sent these Dropbox links with these songs. So Crazy Love is a song that I've already charted. I'll go back and listen to this later on. But since I've already charted it, for the sake of this, I've never heard this song, Where the Spirit of the Lord Is. So I'll click on this Dropbox, and this is just the MP3. So I'm gonna start with a blank canvas. I've never heard it, and I'm going to transfer that onto an empty page. So fun fact, I just found out that Christine hasn't released that song yet, so I'm not going to post any audio along with it, but I'll let you know when it does come out so you can check it out and check it against my chart and let me know how bad of a job I did. Just kidding. It's a perfect chart. All right, so there it is. Just charted the song. First time I've heard it. Thankfully, this one was pretty easy. Same chord progression the entire time, except in the bridge. Instead of the 1, it inverted it to a 1/3. So yeah, just wrote that over and over and over. But the thing is, I actually write down every time it plays the chord progression, instead of putting like, you know, oh, just repeat the verse. There might be something different in verse 2 than there is in verse 1. So like dynamically, I'll just turn this camera around. These circles mean that I come in there. So this first part, it's kind of like pads and stuff. There's nothing too much going on for bass. But when chorus comes in, it gets pretty big, and then it drops out for the verse. So instead of just being like, oh cool, it's another verse, dynamically I want to note that I'm actually out there, so that, you know, I can prepare how to lead into that rather than just being surprised that everyone cuts out. I can build up this last 6 and then drop it here like a good DJ. State Farm is there? Anyway, then yeah, same thing. I write where I come in, I circle that, or something special happens on circles. So usually it means I'm coming in, but occasionally I mean like, remember this chord. Then I'm out on that last 6. So instead of the first one where if I were just to write same chords, I wouldn't know that on this last chord that I'm supposed to drop out. So I still notate that. And then goes to the bridge, does that chord progression once, then starts to build it, then it grooves it a couple times, has like a quick little turnaround that's down, and then it comes back in. And this right here, it's tricky in like, where is it? Worship songs, because they're a lot of times they'll hold a pad on the 1, and so there's no other chord going on, the 1 comes through. So that's kind of what happened there, even though I think it's supposed to be a 6. So that's why I put it in parentheses. It sounds like a 1, but I think it's supposed to be a 6. But either way, I don't really play there anyway. But if I was gonna add something, I might add a 6 instead of a 1. I don't know. But at least I have an accurate representation of what it sounds like. And then out, just one big chorus, and then the outro, I diamond on a 1, so that means I just hold that chord out, and it links to the next, and next, and next. So unless there are underlines on things, one measure is one number. So there's that. So I'm not entirely sure what key this is in, I just know the numbers, so I'll go into Logic and just hit what key. So I think it's in E or E flat, based on my range and singing the low note. I think it's around E or E flat. So let me turn this. Can I turn the camera around? Maybe I can't. Doing this backwards is weird. We'll start with E. Yeah, that sounds right. E flat. Nailed it. But I did guess 2 keys, so I guess technically I didn't nail it, but whatever. Well, I know this video might be super random to some people, but I hope it was helpful to some of you. But yeah, if you'd like me to do more of these or other specific things, let me know, because I'm thinking about doing more of these videos as I prepare for gigs and all that kind of stuff. I'm doing it anyway, so I might as well make a video while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Michael, you know. Sorry, I'm such a bad godfather. Anyway, hope you have a good time doing whatever you're doing. Thanks for having me.